Hello, thank you for watching. This video is going to cover how to use MailMerge in ParentSquare. We're going to begin with the data that we received from the state, and this is just an example of how to use it. As we receive STAR scores from the state, we typically receive them individually by subject, and you will need to have access to the student ID number or TSDS number, whichever one you choose to use. We use both interchangeably. But as you can see on the screen, we have English 1 scores with just the student ID number, and we have their overall performance for that specific subject, which is English 1. We're going to switch over to the next tab over, which is English 2. You can see in this column that these are the English 2 scores. We have the student ID and again, what they scored overall on the English 2. Biology, same thing. You can click on the C column and up here on top, it indicates that it is the biology data and you have the student ID number, and off to the right on column AZ, you have their overall performance level. And then you go through US history and algebra 1, although it could be different subjects. So after you have all of these on one Google Sheet, you're going to create another tab that is going to list all your subjects for all the tests or all the students that took a STAR test on your campus. At high school, for example, we have a list of all of our students with their IDs listed, and we have column G is English 1, column H is English 2, I is biology, J is algebra 1, and K is US history. So if you look closely, when I click on G2, that cell, there's a formula, and I'll zoom in for you. And this formula is the X lookup formula. Basically, it is grabbing information from those other tabs that I showed you. It's saying, hey, let's look at column A2, and A2 gives you their TSDS number, right? And that is on that page. You're going to look on sheet E1, which English 1, and you're going to look at column AO. AO has the TSDS numbers on that sheet as well. If it's a match, you want it to bring over the information on column AZ. AZ happens to be the results for that student. So if there's nothing in that column or there's no student found, you just want it to report back no test for spring 2025. That just means the student didn't take that test in spring of 2025. So at high school, they may not have been enrolled in the class, or they have previously taken it and passed it already, because this is only for the spring of 2025. And then the 0 at the end means you want it to be an exact match. So again, to recap, you're looking for a specific number on, and you're going to indicate what number that is. So you tell it which cell you're looking at. Then you're going to put a comma and then search for that number on a next tab over. So you see how that's a direct match. That TSDS number is on this tab right here, all subjects. But whenever I highlight this next one, it is a number that is found in the next tab over. So it's that same number, but it's no longer on this sheet. It's on the tab English 1, the E1. And on E1, it's going to read what is in column AZ. When I highlight it, it happens to be did not meet. So that student, whichever student this number is, this student is identified by a TSDS number. That student specifically did not meet, and it's going to read that over into this tab that we have open. However, if there was a student that was not listed on this English 1 tab, then we would just receive no test. The formula set up to just put no test this spring 2025. So let me zoom out. And you can see that on this information, that we have in front of us that this student right here, let me minimize this, click. Oh, I didn't mean to type in G2. Click off of that. So this first student that we're looking at did not meet English 1, did not take the test for English 2, did not take the test for biology, did not take the test for algebra 1, and did not take the test for US history. Now, of course, the not taking the test could mean different things. It could mean that they've already previously passed it because we're only looking at this test administration, or they didn't take the course to be eligible to take the test. So we indicate that on our template whenever we send out information. So why is it important to have all of this on one sheet? Because what we're going to do is we're going to use this template or this tab that says all subjects and all tests. We're going to click on file downloads, and we're just going to download this CSV file. We need that file to upload into our parent square because that's where all of our information is housed that we want to email out and we want to merge. Okay, before we jump over to Parent Square, we need to know that there's templates that are set up that we can just freely use, copy and paste so that we can send out a lot easier because it's already been set up. So this is the Google Doc that has the text message, the voice message, the email that we're just going to copy and paste over into Parent Square. So now we're in Parent Square. Once you're logged in, just ensure that you're on the right campus. So I'm going to click on high school, which we already are on high school. And we're going to click on add-ons. And off on the left-hand side, we're going to click on auto notices. Auto notices then gives us an opportunity to create a new notice template. So off to the right-hand side, we're going to create a new template notice. And we are going to, you can title it Early Results, EOC Star, or any other job that you're currently working on. That'll be the title of it. Who should receive it? Because we're at high school, we want parents and students to both receive it. So we click on parents and students. Different campuses might have different options, just maybe the parents or maybe the students. I don't know. We like both. And it's not an attendance notice. It's not a grade notification or lunch balance or health transportation. We just say that it's custom. So we're going to upload the CSV file, the one that we just downloaded from the Google Sheet. It was that CSV file. So we're going to open it. The silly part is that it only says that it recognizes 5 rows. And that is true that it's only recognizing 5 rows, but this isn't the file that it's going to read from. So just keep in mind that you're going to upload the file again, and this isn't what it's reading from. It's not just only recognizing 5 rows. So it's going to ask you to please select the column that has the student ID because Parent Square does read from the student ID number. Okay. So we're going to click that, whichever column it is. I forgot to let you know that this column on your Google Sheet has to have the leading 0. If it does not have the leading 0, it will not read it. It meaning Parent Square will not read the file. So you have to make sure that that leading 0 is in fact in front of the number. Some students do not have a leading 0 and they only have a 1. For example, row 86 doesn't have a leading 0. So this option to customize number format, if you just put a leading 0 and the number of pound signs or hashtags, whatever you want to call them, after the 0, it'll recognize that that 1 needs to be there instead of a 0. Okay, so now we're back on Parent Square. What we just did was we titled it, indicated that we want it to send to parent and student. It's a custom file. We uploaded the CSV file. Only 5 rows were recognized. That's okay. We indicated that local student ID is the column that we want Parent Square to read from. And we're going to click on, it's going to be a critical notice. And the reason for that is because the recipients cannot opt out. It's intended for attendance, transportation alerts, and other critical notices. Although test scores aren't critical notices, we do want them to receive it. So if a parent has opted out, they will receive this notice. And that's why we click on critical notice. Okay, now we're on the part where we're just going to copy and paste. On the text message, it's already been developed. So it's going to read student name, first name, last name, early release, early results, EOC star. And then I just listed them, Algebra 1, Spring 2025. And then whatever your columns are titled is the merge fields. For example, if I needed to add another merge field, I would just click right here and click on email if I wanted to put their email in there. But because my columns are titled E1, E2 by BIA1 US, that's why these merge fields are labeled as such. I have to put the title right above it because if I don't, then it will just show me the results and the parent and student won't know which subject it goes to. So I do that for my text message. I copy the same thing for the voicemail. So I would just copy it right here. I'm going to copy this and paste it in voicemail. Not very many families receive voice because they have to opt into that option. They have to click it on their settings for Parent Square, but for the ones who do receive voice messages, that's what they will receive. Very simple. Try not to overcomplicate it because they are listening to a message. And then the email is the fun part. The email is the one where I can insert a subject line and I can do lots of color. I can do tables so that it helps with reading the information. So this is just the template that we created right here that helps us just copy and paste it. It gives us all the information of what we need or what we've thought over the years what parents and students will need. So right here, we address the student. So we say hello and the student first name and last name. We indicate that they are early results. It's not a notification for summer school. Just keep in mind that any previous tests that are not represented in this communication are because it is only for spring 2025. Some read past that, some read it, but it's very important because there's going to be that notice that we put right here, no test this spring. So what we help with understanding it, we put it on the bottom. So when it reads no test this spring 2025, we tell the parent and students that this means the student either previously passed or have not taken the test. And then in the yellow at the bottom, understanding your score, not all parents and students understand that masters means passed, meets passed, approaches means passed, and did not meet means did not pass. So sometimes this vocabulary is new to parents if they're from out of state or they're new to the district. So typically, we want to say that students from other Texas schools may understand this, but it's a few years new. So we like to let them know what that means. Masters, meets, and approaches all mean passed, but the did not meet means that student unfortunately did not pass. Okay, so now we're back on Parent Square. We click next after we've already copied and pasted everything in. This auto notice is typically reads from an SFTP file, and that's an automated file. I believe it's by Technology Region 18. We don't have that in place or set up. Not that I've known about because I've never used it. If we do, please let me know so that we can use it. But at this time, I just put a title in there. You could actually just put a dot, a period, and just move on. Right here, it's going to ask you to select automated notices. It doesn't work because this file doesn't work because it's all linked together, right? So what we're going to do is we're just going to leave it connected, knowing that it's not going to send automatically because this file doesn't exist. There is no names to pull from. Okay, so we hit save. Oh, it needs to be unique. I've already used that name. So I'm just going to put a dot. Like I said earlier, you could just place a dot right there and then hit save. This file name is being used in today. Let's see if it's referring to this name right here. Because I've already done it on my file. Okay, I'm going to put a dot right there just in case it's that name. I'm going to hit save. Data source base SFTP file must be unique for automated across districts and its schools. The file name is being used. Okay. 1, 2, 3 dots. There we go. I've never run into that problem. So it has to be a unique name. It's not going to be used. So just enter whatever you see is best fit for your parent square out of the parent squares that you've already sent. I didn't realize I had already used a dot and I had already used the other name. So it didn't let me save. Good to know, right? Okay. Now we're ready to send from template. So we're going to click on that. And now you're going to click on the plus because you're going to select that same CSV file. Now it's the same CSV file that we downloaded from the Google Sheet, right? It's the one that has everything in columns, all of your tests, and you downloaded it as a CSV. Okay, now I have not sent it because I have not clicked this button right here. This button meaning send notifications. Okay, I have not clicked that button yet. Okay, what I want to do is I want to arrow over to the right and I want to preview it to make sure that everything looks good. If it's going to look nice and neat whenever they receive it in a text message, and this is the voice message right here. Is this how I want it to look whenever it emails out? And yes, that is correct. That's how I want it to look. So if everything looks good, then you can click on send notification. The only drawback to auto notices is that you can't schedule it. You have to send it at the time that you're working on it. So just because that option for auto notices isn't working with that SFTP file, and I need more information about that. I don't really know a whole lot about it, but that is how you send an auto notice using Mailmerge and Parent Square. Thank you for watching.